Hello everybody. A bit of backstory for this run. Around 3 years ago or so, before I majorly got into versus content, and just versus in general, I had a run with a level 3 sloth in Turtle Pack, and this was before I owned any of the other packs. And the run got to 9 wins and then died to a dodo leopard. And that has been immortalized now in a space giraffe video. Which actually, I don't know if it's still up, I haven't checked recently. But Space Giraffe was a very old content creator. It used to do like daily dose of sap type of videos. Back when the game was a lot more popular. But I never really went for a sloth after that. There were a couple of weeklies and things like that where you could go for a sloth by like Venus flytrapping or using anglefish on other people's sloth, and that was kind of the whole idea of the weekly. But I didn't get a level 3 sloth then because it kind of felt cheap. I wanted to get an authentic one. But then after that I started doing a lot more versus stuff and a lot more just random custom builds. And the sloth was kind of pushed to the back of my head. Like it was something that I hadn't done yet, but I didn't really care that I hadn't done it. Anyway, fast forward to literally a few hours ago as I'm recording this. And I was on stream for my achievement marathon, which I mentioned in before. And sloth had been rolled by this point. So I have an incentive for if you have like a certain amount of donations on Twitch, then I spin a wheel which makes me do one of the secret achievements at some point. Because initially the marathon is just like, do all of the achievements that are not token pets and things like that. But token pets can be unlocked for donations. The second time I span the wheel total, I got the like 1 in 40 or so to get sloth. And so that would have added potentially days onto the runtime of the marathon. And to be honest, I was kind of worried about it, but I assumed I would just like find some way to get into the ghost pool and set up a full Yeti board and just roll like that. But what actually ended up happening was a lot more interesting. So this run I was going for level 3 furbearing trout and level 3 Pishu initially, just because I had a really good setup for it with unicorn scaling, and I was getting a lot of gold from Pishu already, so it was a lot easier to find the levels. And at a certain point, I did in fact get the sloth in shop, but I got it very late. You'll see it quite a bit later when it ends up happening. But for now, it's just normal unicorn pack gameplay because, well, it's a lot harder to get achievements in customs. Weirdly enough, I could do it in standard customs, but I didn't want to because there are a lot of content creators in standard customs. And me running the exact same team over and over to just like get achievements as efficiently as I can is not very fun for the content creators. So then I tried wild customs after that, and honestly that's worse by a lot because there are a lot of teams that are just built to explicitly be as optimized as possible for stats. And it wasn't very fun. Like, you could try and, what I was trying to do was force links, but that wasn't end up being very good, but just because, like, the endgame links board wasn't ever really good enough to contest with a lot of the teams, which is shocking, because links is, like, massively, broken still. But other people just had, like, the best scaling that currently exists right now, and also they would like transform things into leopards and things like that. But anyway, here I take Sardinian currants. It's kind of weird because I have to scale the Yeti instead. But at this point, I have no idea what's coming to me. I'm on stream. I'm like 9 hours into a stream. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. We're getting gold from Pichu still. And even more from the Sardinian currant. We're getting 18 gold a turn currently. And that's going to go up to 21 gold a turn with the level 3 Pichu, assuming it activates. I take Sleipnir now. And with the amount of gold I have, I reason that buying peaches is a good idea. Just because with the amount of rolling I can do, I'm bound to find tons and tons of them. And I'm still only at 4 wins and have 4 lives to spare at this point. There's a level 3 Frogman team here. Which we do actually have enough to draw with, barely. And the draws like these have, like, saved the run by a lot. Here's the level 2 Sleipnir. I don't even buy Eat Me Cake or anything, because I'm just rolling a lot for peaches. Again, like, I skipped the cornucopias, which looking back I probably should have taken. But, at this point I wasn't expecting to sell out of my scaling just yet. Here's another Chimera team. I was running into a lot of these during my live stream. We got fairly close to this one, but an unfortunate breakpoint still. Regardless, I'm in a good spot. I have 3 lives and I can keep buying peaches and get level 3 Sleipnir. And I can scale my board up very quickly. Yeah, now I stop buying cornucopia. I get another peach from this one even. And I'm just hyper-scaling the Sleipnir as quickly as I possibly can. Here's another cornucopia for yet another peach. Absurd. So that gets it up to 5-5. Which at that point is effectively the same as buying 5 chicken legs in terms of stats. It's 15 gold, and you have 15 total in stats. Here's Stubby Dubby. We win this off the mana. 5 wins. Turn 15 though. And by this point, a lot of the teams are very high rolly. Teams that like get this far in arena are generally pretty maxed out. And by nature, teams that have gotten more wins are also more high rolly. I put White Ochre on this unicorn. Chocolate Sleipnir. It's kind of questionable because like I don't get value in battle from unicorn anymore. So I probably didn't need to beat to begin with, but I was planning on finding level 2 and maybe going for level 3 unicorn. Because again, at this point I don't know. I don't know what's about to happen. I lose that one by quite a bit to the mana. But yeah, like here I'm going for the level on unicorn. I forget if it was this turn or the next turn where I found it. I take Starfruit. And take Steak. I'm still playing very fast at this point. But I know a sloth when I see one. And fun fact, the sloth always appears in your first shop slot, no matter what. It like ignores the tier order that the shop usually does. It just shows up on the left every time. Here's Stubby Dubby again. With Kitsune Sea Serpent. But we have enough stats at this point. Our Sleipnir is nearly 50-50. I believe it was on this turn. I roll a bit. I'm looking for level 3 unicorn. I'm still looking for level 3 unicorn. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, is it not even this turn? Oh, I really thought it was this turn. I must be somehow be misremembering, despite it being like a couple hours ago, if that. So the mana snipes are really nice here, and we get unicorn value in battle. And now this turn it definitely was 7/7 on the features, and here it is. 15 gold left. Or actually, I just sold the. Yeah, 15 gold left. We find the sloth in shop. Turn 18, 7 wins, 2 lives. Luckily, I'm on Unicorn Pack. And Unicorn Pack has a very good way to get XP on the sloth. Which my chat by this point will also very privy to. Here's Quetzalcoatl. Now at this point our team is way weaker because we've basically sold all of our scaling and our ailment protection, along with quite a few stats, for a 1/1 and a Quetzalcoatl that is basically just there to get the level 3 sloth. The good news is, I still have Pichu and I have a lot of gold to try and find the level on sloth earlier. Here we face Kelly Greyhound with a level 3 Sleipnir also. we lose a lot of stats to that, and the mana snipes were okay for us, but it didn't really matter. That was still a 50-50 vote. At this point, we're on 1 life. The most terrifying thing in the world, because you've got, like, at this point, I slowed down. Like, if any of you are old heads and have seen Clean Up 141 streams where he would help people get level 3 sloth, every decision is thought out 4 minutes. I Competo the Pichu, because at this point, I have level 3 sloth this turn with Quetzalcoatl, and I reasoned that the only bad hit would be Yeti, because even something like... even getting Quetzalcoatl is scaling and lets me sell out of the other one easier. Manticore protects against ailments. Like, everything is good. We happen to get another Sleipnir, which is definitely on the higher end. I roll into another Peach, which immediately goes here for more attack on the Sleipnir. And I freeze this bad dog because we can sell out of Quetzalcoatl now, or pretty much next turn. Assuming that we win this fight, we have 2 more wins to get. The bad dog toy will be active for both of those, which is very important with the mana snipes. Here we face Vampire Bat with Visitor, which doesn't do enough to kill us, and the mana snipes are easily enough. Now we have the level 3 Sloth. I'm shaking in my boots. This is like potentially a massive time save. I put Durian on the other Sleipnir, even though it loses me gold, just because simply I know that Sleipnir will not die to snipes, and the Durian will always get value. It could not get value if it would have gone something else. And then here, I buy Drink Me Liquid on the Sloth to protect it from Evil Book. And I'm just trying to be efficient. I spend like 5 minutes deciding between Kraken for breakpoints and Hydra. And then I figured out that like we have 40 total mana here, 6 damage from Evil Book. We have the Durian. And we also get a mana snipe early because... the Hydra dies to Evil Book, and we also want the Hydra to die for the summon. Or not want, but we would be happy if it died, regardless. Here we face another Vampire Bat Visitor team with a level 3 Behemoth. But, because we've fronted the Sleipnir, because it survived the first hit, it's able to swing for quite a lot of damage into the behemoth. The behemoth does so much back that, like, the damage counter went to 3 digits and broke. If you look at that, it's at minus 107, which is pretty funny. The great one is really good. We get a 40 damage snipe. The trades are amazing. 9 wins. Nothing interests me in this shop. I buy a peach to the Hydra. And then I freeze roll this Eat Me Cake because while finding a peach would be miles better, I wanted the safety of, like, I can buy this Eat Me Cake, no problem, and it will improve my board. As opposed to potentially finding nothing, because the positioning I'm doing now is probably the best placement for stake, in my opinion, and there are very few perks that we would, like, want here that aren't affected by that. Maybe another stake would be one of them, and then we move this to the front. Or maybe something like pancakes would be the other option. But that's unlikely. So I take the Eat Me Cake. We get an extra Hydra head now. The final fight. This team looks fairly innocent. It's a lot of team spirits, but we have a ridiculous amount of stats. Pops Ambrosia, but really we have just so much mana. And with that, I finally, after like 3 years, get my level 3 sloth achievement. And I didn't even mean to. I found the sloth like 3 turns, or I guess it's 4 turns before the game ended. Which is absurd. That's like ridiculous. I'm still very happy about it. I was incredibly happy on stream, but off stream I'm still thinking about it. Just because this has been something that's been in the back of my head for such a long time. To like get this level 3 sloth achievement. And to finally do it authentically on Unicorn Pack randomly on a like 9-hour long Twitch stream at the very end. I mean, you really couldn't ask for a better way to do it. But anyway, I'll link my Twitch in the description. I will very likely be live when you look at it, just because of how much I've been streaming for this marathon. But that's about it from me. Have a wonderful day.